It has been quite a while, and it feels nice to sit behind the microphone once again and discuss with you the problems that I see fit and just kind of complain about like first world issues, just normal stuff that everyone does. But today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I don't really review articles or go over articles very often. I have done it once or twice if you have already subscribed and seen those videos before. If you haven't, I would go ahead and recommend that you do so now so you don't miss any uploads. Like if you like it, dislike it. Let me know in the comments what I can do to improve on the content, because it not only helps me get feedback and improve on the content, but it also gets the video recommended to more people. There's a Discord server in the link below. If you just want to chat, hit me up, play games with other people, you're looking at LFG, I don't know, whatever you're doing, it's just a little fun community. So we're talking about consumerism, buying products, being a purchaser of products, and what does it mean to have standards in a marketplace that is constantly shifting? And should you lower your standards? And right off the bat, you're probably going to go, absolutely not. I don't understand. If I'm paying for a product, I shouldn't have to lower my standards. And weirdly enough, not surprising to me at least, but maybe to some, you're going to receive pushback on that ideology. Now, there's going to be pushback on any ideology that you have, but this one doesn't logically make any sense. So these people, understandably, fall under two categories who would push back on this. Either one of two, being fanboys, or being just subhuman trash who can't stick up for themselves. And because we're talking about video games today, and you already figured that out from the gameplay in the background, I want this conversation to really boil down to a product. You're purchasing a product. You're a consumer of a product. This is equivalent if I said to iOS store, I said, hey, I want to buy Pocket God for $2.99. I would like that product. Or I go to 7-Eleven, I go, I want to buy that Gatorade. I would like to have that for, I don't know, what's the price of a Gatorade? $4.79 in California. What the fuck are they doing over there? I think you're picking up what I'm putting down so far. If there's one thing about a product that you don't enjoy or you're not liking, why would you continue to spend money on it? Why would you even spend money on it from the start? If it's got problems, why would I want it? Today, the great PC Gamer has bestowed upon us an article essentially telling us that you don't actually know what you're talking about, and you should just maybe lower your standards a little bit there, buddy. Maybe just spend your money on it. I assure you, everything they're going to talk to you about in this article is just fucking oxymoron after oxymoron. It stands against actual fact. I'm not exaggerating this. Quite literally stands against fact. They make statements against basic fucking science. Avowed's low frame rates but smooth feeling gameplay makes me wonder if PC gamers worry too much about the numbers. That's right, PC Gamer, the platform that reports on performance in games and hardware. They're telling you to stop consuming their shit. What the fuck? And as a quick side note here, I'm playing Dead Island 2, but the only reason I can really stand it is the mechanics in-game are just so enjoyable that it's easy to overlook some of this stuff, but I can see how it's a hard push away. The anti-aliasing is awful. I just gotta put that out there. I've been spending a good chunk of my time recently testing the performance of new game releases on various PCs. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Civ 7, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and now Avowed, hour after hour, day after day, constantly running benchmarks over and over, all to get a raft of performance numbers to give you an idea how well they run across different hardware configurations. But the charts and video clips don't really tell you the full story, because they can't show you how the game feels to play, how a game feels to play. Well, right off the bat, we kind of have a little bit of gaslighting going on, don't we? So if I look at Minecraft gameplay, and I'm looking at a dude build something, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this is a game for pretty creative people. I consider myself pretty creative. This looks like a fun outlet. Bam, right off a rip, right? If I show someone, I don't know, Doom Eternal gameplay, and they really like hardcore or maybe even older Quake-like shooters, they're looking at that and they're going, that shit looks hardcore. That shit looks like what I like. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can all agree that we can really tell if we like something just from seeing a trailer. Like when you go to see a movie, you can pretty much tell because most of the movie is what you're going to be seeing. That's what you're going to be seeing. Now, maybe it'd be up in the air for games in a special case because you could get a trailer with a bunch of cinematics and very little gameplay, and there's going to be a bunch of people who are hyped up about it for no reason because we've barely seen any actual gameplay. Intergalactic, looking at that one over there, bud. And in the case of Avowed, it's quite an important thing because for the most part, it feels really smooth. Not always, of course, and not on every PC that I tested it on, but the experience is far nicer than the performance numbers suggested it should be. For example, in my Ryzen 7 5700X3D and my GeForce RTX 4070 test rig, it averages 68 FPS at 1440p with a high quality preset with no upscaling. Pretty decent, right? Not amazing, but not bad either. I have to agree that's strongly okay. Not bad, but it's strongly okay. Until we start talking about 1% lows. Now, if you don't know what that means, to break it down in its simplest terms, when you go to stutter, or when a stutter happens, it's going to be how noticeable the stutter or drop in frame rate is going to be. Now, it's 1% lows, so it's not going to be something crazy all the time, but when it happens, it can absolutely rip you out of the experience. 34 FPS is what's self-admitted to go down to. That's not great on an aggressively okay set of parameters we're talking about here. That's a big difference to the average performance, and in a lot of games, you notice that quite easily. Not so in Avowed. In fact, it feels as smooth as butter on that particular PC with those settings. Only the odd bit of traversal stutter spoils the picture. That goes against everything we just discussed. That is not how that's not how that works. You don't have two games and the same things happen to each other, right? And you go, well, this one felt way smoother. That's not how time works. That FPS, right? Frame rate, I'm not going to break it down here. I'm not a tech channel. But if you understand how that works, that's physically not how frame times work. That's not how that works. It doesn't feel smooth. The frame times don't become smoother. Maybe you're enjoying the game, right? That's one thing. But that's still not how fucking time works. There's a big difference between the performance of hardware and that of a game. Of course, that's not like I can go, oh, this CPU feels like it's running really fast. It's either it is or it isn't, and the only way to be certain to run tests and get numbers. For games, it's different unless it's a competitive one, especially if it's going to potentially be a source of income for you. But even then, surely it doesn't matter how fast it's running as long as it feels okay and doesn't prevent you from achieving your desired goals, yes? The obvious issue here is that the feeling is subjective, and something that feels okay might be excruciating for someone else. What he's essentially referencing is 30 FPS versus a higher frame rate. You know, some people are fine with playing 30 FPS. You know, maybe that's the system they bought a Series S and they want visuals. And for a game that has the option to run 60 FPS at a specific mode, you're not getting that, but you're fine with playing at that frame rate because you're really there for the gameplay itself, not really just the frame rate. And it's totally understandable. But when you're paying higher end prices for higher end hardware, this console generation, and we're being told things that we're going to get, you kind of feel like you got kicked in the nuts. It doesn't feel good. At native 1440p, we're struggling to get clear visuals and good 1% lows. Is that what you're trying to tell me? And it's okay because some people were fine with lower frame rates. That's not a good experience. We're talking about jittering here. We're not talking about low frame rates. We're not talking about experiences being blurry or sharper, one or the other. We're not comparing upscaling softwares. We're talking about actual frame dips, something that to everyone does not feel good. It doesn't feel great. Can you ignore it? Absolutely, right? You could do that, but it doesn't put a smile on your face that you've ignored it and gotten over it. You're just trying to force yourself through that to enjoy the game itself because underneath there's something good. Quick example of this is when PlayStation and Xbox were discussing, what people really use, and PlayStation put out the reports like, hey, the majority of people use the smoother and higher frame rate modes when they're playing games. They don't give a shit about the visuals. They're playing for the gameplay because it feels better. Most people have 60 Hz TVs, so obviously they're going for the 60 FPS mode rather than 30 FPS. It can accommodate that, so they're going to use it where they can. If they have a monitor, they're of course trying to get that higher frame rate with the higher refresh rate they've got. They spent a little extra money. This generation, they were told they would be able to pull this stuff off on a regular, and they're trying to take advantage of it, right? The games can be good. The game would feel better, and the game would play better if you had the higher frame rate. The visuals don't really matter. Standard 1080p is fine. I personally prefer 1080p. I have a 360 Hz monitor. I'm a fucking freak, I know. You can call me out in the comments if you'd like. That's just how I prefer to play. I understand it. Is it a good thing that this generation has shitty performance at these resolutions, though? Not perfect. No, not preferred. A lot of games suffer because of it. A lot of games will never reach their full potential because people aren't going to buy them because they run and play like shit. But they can be good if they just ran a little bit better. Remember when Destiny 2 came out for PC? And everyone was seeing Destiny 2 from 30 FPS to fucking whatever the fuck they wanted for the first time. It was a miracle difference. It was huge. Throw another wrench into the fun little party that is this fuckfest of chaos. The games are increasing in price. The companies are asking more and more money of us, yet they're spending more and more money on shittier and shittier performance, more developers, etc., basically trashing their fucking money away, charging us $70. There's rumors going around in the communities and shit that they want GTA 6 to be $100 so they can set their fucking slop content to that amount rate. I often come across comments and discussions about a particular game or piece of hardware where the gamer will say something along the lines of, it has to run at 120 FPS for me or I'm not interested, without wishing to sound like I'm denigrating such opinions. That's something I just don't get. My own gaming PC, I really don't care about the frame rate I'm getting, and I never bother to check the same metrics that I collate for performance review. Wait, what? Hold on. Wait. The performance website has a writer who doesn't care about performance and is reporting based off gameplay. So you want to write a review? I don't strike me down if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like you just want to review the gameplay of Avowed, and that's it, and you don't want to mark it for its performance. Yet in most reviews, games get marked for performance issues. That's part of a review, right? You review every aspect of the game. You just want to review the gameplay, right? Just write that article then. Just what the fuck is the point of this? I'm gonna skim through the end of this because I don't really feel like dragging this on and make you feel like you're listening to this as per a chore. Don't worry, you'll have more content to go through. It'll be newer, fresher. But we even admit right here, a 1% low of 34 FPS compared to an average of 68 FPS should feel a bit janky, not quite stuttery, but certainly not smooth. So we're acknowledging fact. It should, right? It should. But it actually feels worse if it runs too fast, if that makes any sense. No, the fuck it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. We're talking about numbers, real numbers that mean something, that actually mean something. For myself though, I'll just keep going by feel. Maybe I should invent a feels per second metric. What? What? Anyway, thank you for watching all the way through, and if you value your money, you're not gonna just sit there and fucking eat slop all day, are you? I didn't think so. Not to say that this game is gonna be bad, but this game certainly has some issues. A lot of games currently have some performance issues that need to be handled. We shouldn't just sit down and accept this. Unreal Engine 5 is making it worse. The over-reliance on fucking TAA and all this other anti-aliasing shit, upscaling, is just blowing my fucking mind. If you go and play Black Ops 2 on PC, right, this shit is clear as fucking day. And then if you play that same resolution on another COD game, it not fucking clear. Not clear at all. It's really bad. Thank you for watching all the way through. Like if you like it, dislike it, dislike it. Let me know in the comments what I can do to improve on this content. I'll see you around. Thank you.